What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So, I know a lot of you guys think my collection is very cluttered. And of course it is. I have an addiction, obsession. I want statues, and I don't want to have to sell certain statues to, like, generate space. I've done it a lot, but there are certain statues, like, I'm not getting rid of that. And my collection now is getting to the point where I really don't want to sell anything. So, when I want to get more statues, I have to, in essence, kind of congest and clutter up the display. But I definitely know it's cluttered. Now, certain parts I don't find cluttered at all. Like, when I look at like that Devil May Cry, it's fine. I know some people don't like the posters or the Blu-rays or proximity pieces. I do like it. That's why I put it there. I could easily remove that poster if I wanted to, but I do like it. Like, I don't find that display cluttered by any means. Now, in the most part, some of my displays are cluttered, like inside the garage shelf. Others are not, and I find them completely fine, like that MK shelf. It's not cluttered, in my opinion. What I do think is the biggest problem is I have too many shelves. So, like, realistically, I should probably have a much bigger walkway right here. I should be able to walk in and maybe have this shelf start like right there and not have a shelf there. You know what I mean? Like that's one area within this room I know. And I know I shouldn't have any statues right here. 0 statues right there. And probably not even statues right here. Like the Warcraft shelf should be gone. That should be gone. That's fine, but that should be gone. Shouldn't have a shelf here. This one's fine. But realistically, if I said like super declutter, I get rid of this, get rid of all that, and get rid of this, and just have that. Or you open up this closet, like knock down that wall and this, like, and then fill this out. That would be fine. But yeah, in this room in general, like I'm fine with everything outside of that shelf and those. Other than that, I feel like this room is good, but obviously I've congested this walkway with this shelf, and so it obviously is very congested right here. So that is one area in that room I think could be slimmed down. Now, I shouldn't have any statues right here, any statues in the bathroom. There should not be a shelf right here. This also should be gone. There should not be a shelf here. I feel like, in general, when you walk into a room, you shouldn't have to dodge a statue. So that shelf is fine, but this should not be there. That should not be there in this room. This should not extend out this much. It should end right there. I extended it out because I wanted more statues, so I'm aware of that. Now, obviously, I added a few more statues in here, which did clutter this display. Wolverine and Deadpool realistically shouldn't be in these displays, but I needed space so I can get Batman down low, so that's one of the few areas in terms of statues I find cluttered in this room. Like, I like the look of this where I do the Civil War. This, to me, is not cluttered at all. It looks perfect. But, yeah, other than the fact this shelf should end right here, get rid of the Doctor Strange and Catwoman shelf. Everything else I feel like is fine. I should have a statue right there. This should just end right here and just get rid of that. And then the room would feel a lot more open. Yeah, and then obviously a bigger walkway so I could walk in and it'd be completely fine. So yeah, that would definitely be good. Now for this room, there's a few areas as well. I feel like if I wasn't so obsessed with statues. Now, I would not have this shelf hanging past the wall. I'd have it stop right there. Same thing right here. I would not have that shelf right there. So realistically, all you'd need to do is get rid of this shelf, scoot this down, and it would be about good. So you just get rid of one shelf. And obviously you wouldn't have the Broly shelf there either, but it should end right at that wall. Have a nice big open walkway. And then I'm fine with everything else. Like, having this here is perfectly fine. It's the Lita that shouldn't be there. And then here, I would say... So originally this door opened up this way. I reversed it so I could put shelves here. Which, yeah. But there shouldn't be statues. I'm fine with statues, I would say probably right here. but there shouldn't be anything right here. So realistically, I should remove like that 36-inch shelf and this, and scoot everything down and sell like XM Alien, XM Predator, and get rid of a General Hunter display, and then that would solve that. But of course, I'm obsessed, as you guys know. And then, yeah, there shouldn't be this here. This should stop right here. So when I come in, there's just posters here, and then the statue starts right there, and then he would be right there instead. I would say that is probably it. If I was to like truly be like one day, like I'm sick of how congested and cluttered it is, I need to get rid of these statues. So we have to cut off some lines. So we have to decide what lines we're getting rid of. And we have to remove the shelves and make the displays not cluttered either. So you'd have to just, for example, I sold the Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm like, all right, I'm selling them. And we're going to get rid of Steppenwolf so we can just move the display down, just have Darkseid and Darkseid bust. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of an example. If you got rid of this shelf, then, yeah, you guys get kind of the idea. Obviously, if you removed the Doctor Strange shelf, you'd have to get rid of an Iron Man bust and probably just lower that Iron Man there, move Doctor Strange to the right, move out Black Widow and just put Captain Marvel over there so the Marvel bust wall does not have this shelf. That's kind of the idea. In DBZ, you would either have to sell all Dragon Ball Z or move it somewhere like back into the video game room or sell off a different line to keep DBZ. That's just kind of idea. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. Like, I don't plan to do this. I am fine with how my displays. Like, I'm happy with my collection. I know a lot of you guys always comment this and that. At the end of the day, I feel like everyone should display their collection how they like it. Don't listen to other people. It's always good to get suggestions because it helps you like develop good ideas. But at the end of the day, display it how you want it. So I wish I had more space so I wouldn't have to display this, but I do want these statues. Like, I freaking love this Z-Warrior statue, so I'm not going to get rid of this entire display. I'd rather have it congested so I can still experience the greatness of those statues. But anyways, folks, that's just a little bit of how I feel like if there ever truly was a big downsizing of my collection. Now, I feel like the only way I would do that is if I was in a big financial bind. Like, let's just say, for example, I lost my job and I can't find another job. I'm on unemployment and, many months go by and I'm just like, I can't find a gig. Then I'd be like, all right, let's just start selling some statues to declutter the collection while also providing me money in the meantime. That is probably the only scenario I could see myself doing that. It's very unlikely because my job is going amazing, but you never know. My previous job where I got laid off was also going amazing until it wasn't. So you really never know in life. But anyways, folks, that is it. I'm sure a lot of you would probably reach, dude, you need to do that. Yeah, it's not going to happen, like I said, unless I'm unemployed for like 3 months. I would like the collection to be much more open like that. I will admit that. But I would also miss out on a ton of crazy good statues that I really enjoy having. Like, I love the Alito bust. Yeah, I could sell it. I would miss it. But then I'd probably forget about it 3 months later and then have $4,000 back in my checking account. So there's definitely pros and cons to it all. But anyways, folks, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.